Throughout the sports world, powerful women have in recent times found themselves more and more in positions of power and influence. In the QMJHL, Courtney Schriver-Richard is one of those people as the business operations manager for the Cap-Breton Eagles. And she joins us here this afternoon. Courtney, thank you for taking the time.
Thanks, Will. My pleasure.
All right, Courtney, let's talk a little bit first about your background in the game. You've been playing since a very young age. Tell us a little bit about what gravitated you towards the game and a little bit about that journey.
Yeah, sure. My game or my story with the game is not unlike a lot of Canadians, I think. I got the bug for hockey pretty early and stuck with it and obviously continuing on. So, I have a brother, he's a year older than me. So he started, I think, probably when he was 5. So I was running around the rink when I was 4. And very quickly I was tugging on mom and dad's arm to sign me up. And they did without a bat and an eyelash, which was awesome. So I started super early, never let it go, fell in love right off the get-go. Grew up in the Halifax area, played hockey there, and I played boys hockey. There was no female hockey. It's not like it is today. And dating myself, but this was 30 years ago, and there was very few females playing the game, so I had no choice. And I think I'm in a way all the better for it. It kind of tied me back to my career today. So yeah, I played men's hockey there, and then after Major Bantam for a couple of years, I felt it was in my best interest to probably pursue more of the female route, and left my home in grade 11 to go to Ontario, actually, and billeted with a family up there and played in the Ontario Women's Hockey League and in Mississauga, and then came back here and played 5 years at St. Mary's. So yeah, it's been a long haul. I don't play much anymore on this side of the desk, but yeah, it's been my life passion for sure.
Yeah, you make a very good point here, Courtney, about your early days in the game. The women's game was not nearly in the position of prominence that it is today. For you, at that time growing up, who are some of the people, and this could be male or female, that you might have looked up to inside the game?
Yeah, back then it was really the Cassie Campbells. It was, from a female standpoint, it was those girls, the Manel Rayons, and those that were breaking the glass back when I was playing. I couldn't naturally envision a woman playing the NHL, but there we were. And then, just watching the Olympics and watching those ladies win the medals, and it was my dream, I think, as far back as I can remember, to wear the red and white. And so I really looked up to those ladies, and I wanted to be an Olympian. I wanted to go all the way. Unfortunately, it didn't come out that way, and that's okay. But yeah, really looking up to those ladies and how they kind of broke those barriers and got on TV and yeah, kind of made girls like me and fall in love with the game.
And I mean, that's not to diminish your own accolades. You are an AUS MVP through your time at St. Mary's. You went on to Dell and earned an MBA. And through there, of course, you took your first steps in the business world. After a brief stint with RBC, you went on to another Canadian institution, very well known for their force in the game. That would be, of course, Tim Hortons. Spending that time with Tim Hortons and getting to know both the business inner workings as well as their connection to hockey, how do you feel that prepared you for the role you're in today?
I think it was crucial, and it's something that I always speak about with anyone who wants to work in the game, male or female. My goal, it was very intentional to work with those brands, with Tim Hortons, with Boston Pizza, because I always wanted to keep hockey and sport at an arm's length. And you're not going to come right out of school. It's very few and far between these jobs, and sometimes you have to take a different path, and that's okay. But what you'll see is, working with Tim's, consistently working in hockey, managing QMJHL partnerships, managing Timbits hockey programs, working with Boston Pizza, managing and growing NHL, MLB partnerships, what you'll find is it's just kind of always there at an arm's length, and it's your passion, and you're surrounded by people who are just as passionate about you, and it kind of came full circle and led me back here. So yeah, I think it's crucial, and I never let hockey get too far away from me, or sport in general, really, in my career.
Now talking about your time both with Tim Hortons and Boston Pizza, and this really links back to your earlier comment, Courtney, about playing amongst boys, growing up in the hockey world. Do you feel that having that early experience in the game where you were very much playing with the boys, do you think that that had some sort of impact in how you were able to gain so much success on the business side of things early on?
I think so. I think it was kind of a blessing. Obviously, you don't know that growing up, but a lot of the guys that I played against and a lot of the coaches continued on with careers in hockey. And I found when I came back to the Q, I'd look at other teams in their front office or even on their hockey staff, and I think, oh my gosh, I played my whole minor hockey against that guy, or that was my coach, and now he's a scout for a team. So I think it absolutely helped. And actually, people that I turned to before even accepting the role here, just talking to them about the Q and about the role, about the team, and about their experience in the Q, because again, I had already had those relationships playing against them all the way growing up. So I certainly think it helped me. Yeah, I lean back on those relationships frequently, even to this day.
Now, after your stint with Boston Pizza as well, that led to another sojourn actually to Ontario for you, of course. Then you get the opportunity to come back home and marry that love of the game and your as well as your career with the Cap-Breton Eagles. Tell us a little bit, Courtney, about how all of that came to a head and what led you to coming back to the Maritimes and assuming your position with the Eagles.
Yeah, it was a tough decision. I mean, I wanted to come back and certainly work in hockey, but I was certainly enjoying my role at BP and enjoying being in Ontario. But I think for my family as well, it was a better fit coming back to Atlantic, Canada. And also an exciting time for the Eagles in general. We were going through a rebrand, and this year coming up is the 25th anniversary. I could have done without COVID, but other than that, it was a super exciting opportunity, and I thought, wow, I can't turn it down. And it's not to discount the fact that it's your family. My family was really excited about it, right? Like, I have a young guy who plays hockey. My husband certainly loves the Q. He has since he was a young kid, and I think it kind of drove a little family excitement as well. So when the opportunity came up and I put my name in the mix, I was lucky enough for Gerard Shaw to give me a call and to choose me as the best person for the job, and from there we haven't looked back. It's been a great ride. It's been a crazy ride the past couple of years, but yeah, it's been great.
And I actually want to talk about Nash, your son, a little bit here. But switching gears a little bit, you have a very unique perspective as a woman, both playing the game and being on the other side of the desk as well. And of course, we've seen a lot of initiatives come to the forefront in recent times. With the acumen that you have and your background, what do you see in terms of inclusivity, in terms of equality, that maybe you look at and say, we need to make a few more strides in that department? What are some of the things that you're seeing that are either you're satisfied with, and even a few things that maybe you see that could be improved on in that nature?
I think that we just had International Women's Day. I was floored, especially around the CHL with what teams were doing. It was fantastic. And the LHJMQ taken the lead on highlighting some of the females that probably didn't feel like they wanted to be highlighted or needed to be, like myself. But you know what? It was awesome, and you know, it seemed like the world almost followed suit, right? You looked left, right, and center, and it was just consistently looking at and highlighting females in their roles. And it almost kind of feels like when you see someone else highlighted, you're like, wow, we did it. It's almost like it's not you who did it, but it's like we did it. It feels like we're making traction here. And I think that the momentum needs to keep going. I think if we could improve on anything, it could be something similar to what was happening on International Women's Day. Still give females the platform to tell their story, similar to what you're doing right now. Lift them up, very similar again to what happened on International Women's Day. Keep doing what we're doing and allow us to tell our story, and how we got here and what it takes, and you know, and inspire more girls to work in the business of hockey, not just lacing up the skates. Like there's jobs, and if you can inspire one, hopefully you can inspire more than that. But if you can inspire one, I think your job is well done. So yeah, I think just keeping the momentum going from International Women's Day, certainly not let it get too far away, and keep moving forward.
And, you know, much to the point of seeing so many women making their way into those powers of position, or positions of power, I should say, that we've seen in recent times. You know, Haley Moore making the AHL, Kendall Cohen-Schofield with the Blackhawks. Every time you see something like that, what's the feeling that you get watching this upswell of women in the game?
I celebrate it every time I see it, and I don't care what sport it is. It was Kim with the Marlins? Like it really doesn't matter to me. I think I instantly have a feeling of, like I said before, of a we did it or we're doing it. And I almost feel that I know what it takes. Like I know that feeling that they feel. It feels like an instant pressure that's on you, but I know that they've dedicated their lives to that sport. I mean, I'm a student of the game. I've grown up. I've done my time, right? And I think these ladies have as well. And like I said, I'll celebrate that any day, and I hope it continues to come across every feed I see, and I'll like, share, and comment, and the more I see, the better.
Now, could you ever see yourself, Courtney, perhaps, if the opportunity was put in front of you, and if the opportunity was right, of course, could you ever see yourself making the leap into perhaps a pro position yourself?
Well, hopefully my family's not watching, because I don't know how much longer they can keep me around if I keep. No, you know what? I absolutely. I think, you know, it's a dream of mine, just like it has been since I was. Your path goes a different way, but I think in the end, my goal has always been to make it to the top, to the ceiling, and I hope someday I can get there when the job is done here. There's lots to do here in Cap-Breton, and you know, I don't want to get ahead of myself or anything like that, but yeah, we'll see how it goes. But certainly, I'm certainly driven, and if my family will allow me and come with me, then yeah, I'll go.
And finally, you know, you talk about your son Nash. He's a goalie himself. So first of all, congratulations on being a goalie mom. That can be fun at times.
Times, yeah, it depends on the day.
When you see Nash and the kids around the rink as well, and for that matter, the parents and coaches that you interact with so frequently, what do you see in the future of the game? And, you know, I say that obviously from a position of what you see as we work towards more inclusivity, more equality, but just in general, how do you see the game unfolding?
Oh, it's really remarkable. Well, like there's 4 or 5 female teams just in county minor hockey here in Cap-Breton. It's really, so from a female side, I have no worries about the game. It's almost like, I think at one point it was the fastest growing sport in Canada. And I don't think that's going to stay. And when the girls play, I mean, you know, they're playing. They're having more fun than anybody's having fun. It's just absolutely remarkable to see the growth of the women's game. And then just the game in general. I mean, I think it's going in the right direction. You know, with Nash personally, I try to keep him grounded. Of course, he wants to play in the NHL, but I'm worried more about his hours, you know, in the classroom and with his friends than he's putting on the ice right now at 8 years old. But you know, I see the game. It's growing. The kids are having fun. I think, you know, as long as they go to the rink every day and enjoy playing and seeing the friendships grow and cheering each other on, have a little bit of a compete, I think it's in a good spot. And I look forward to watching him, you know, grow up and maybe grow out of being a goalie so that my nerves can come back to normalcy. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, regardless of whether Nash starts playing out or not, we want to just thank you for not only taking the time this afternoon, but also all you do with the Eagles and the credit that you are to the QMJHL. Thanks again, Courtney.
Thank you, Will. I really appreciate that.